Hey everybody, it's your girl Nell and welcome. It is Wednesday here in the tiny studio. Yes, it is. And it is time for another Dreadlock Love video, baby. You know what time it is. It's that time where we talk about all things Dreadlock love, care, maintenance, and all the things. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here in the tiny studio. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. This video, this Dreadlock Love video, baby, this is part 2 of a conversation that we had last week about the most frequently asked questions regarding Dreadlock love, care, and maintenance. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure that you drop down in the comment section and go ahead and ask me a few questions, make a comment, share your journey. And if you do that and you have a question, I will most definitely address it in the next video about Dreadlock Love. You know what time it is, baby. You know what time it is. So listen, let's get into the questions. And I just want to thank everyone who has followed me on this Dreadlock journey here on this channel. As you know, Dreadlock Love, baby, has been a cornerstone of the Simply Nails Tiny Studio channel and brand, and one of the most successful series here. And I really appreciate every Tiny Studio guest who have commented, who have left stories about their journey, who have asked questions. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And these videos are just for you and for anyone who may be curious about starting a Dreadlock journey. This video and this channel is set up just for you. So let's get into some of the most frequently asked questions, or questions that I am asked as a loctician about dreads. Okay, now let me preface this. Let me preface it with this statement. When I am giving advice and commentary about dreads, locks, whatever it is that you would like to call them or feel comfortable in calling them, whenever I am giving advice or commentary about it, here's the thing. I'm coming at you from two angles. I'm coming at you from the angle of being a professional loctician for the past 20 years. And I'm coming to you as a person who's worn dreadlocks consistently for the past 23 years. Okay. So I'm coming at you from a professional viewpoint and from a personal viewpoint. However, as with all things, if my advice does not apply, let it fly. It's so simple. I hate to drop down in the comment section and someone says, well, it worked for me. I mean, everybody is different. Okay. Everyone has their own unique, intimate experience with their locks or with their hair. Why? Because we grow our hair. We create our own strands of hair through our personalized DNA. So of course, things that work for me or may not work for me, okay, of course, you and your situation may be different. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. So like I say, when it comes to advice, if it does not apply, let it fly. All right. So the first frequently asked question that I get a lot of is, why does my locks have an odor? Okay, that is a very good question. Okay, and it really comes down to science or biology, your environment, elements, what you use, what type of chemicals you use on your hair, how frequently you wash your hair, and a lot of things comes into play when we talk about locks and odor. Because what we have to remember is one of the things that we have to remember is that our hair is attached to our person and to our bodies. Okay. And when it comes to dreading and locking, depending on, well, first, let me just say it like this. What are locks? Because that's important. Locks are manipulated, matted strands of hair that become interwoven as they grow. Okay, so as they become matted and interwoven, they become like sponges. Okay, they breathe in whatever it is in the atmosphere or the environment that we are living. Okay, that's number one. And number two, depending on our hormones and the way we may be structured biologically, okay, we sometimes, or we sweat. Depending on what it is that you eat, okay, when you sweat, some of those chemicals are released out of your body and into your hair, okay, or into your locks. So if you are eating a lot of chemical laced foods, okay, with artificial this and artificial that, if your body is somehow chemically imbalanced, all right, if you're not eating or drinking, or you're not eating foods that are heavy vegetable wise and fruit wise, if you're not drinking a lot of water as you should be, then yes, when you sweat, different things are going to come out of your pores and into your hair, and it's going to make your hair or your locks smell a certain kind of way. Okay, now if you are using shampoos and conditioners that are heavy with lots of chemicals, okay, if you are using lock gels and creams and waxes, all of these things, as you put them onto your scalp, as you use them to retwist your locks, what they do is they sit on top of your locks, and when you sweat, they produce an odor because of the chemical buildup of product. Okay, and that's why your locks have an odor. Now, yes, being on who you are biologically, your locks are going to inherently smell like you. Okay, just like my locks smell like me. But there is really no odor to my locks. No nasty odor. The only odors emitting from my locks right now is that of cinnamon and roses, because of the type of the combination of oils that I'm using right now as a moisturizer on my locks. That's it. But for me, I have learned that if I don't want certain chemical smells of the environment, if I don't want certain smells of my home, because I have lots of, I have incense going from time to time. I have I'm doing sage around my home a lot. I have Febreze outlets in my the living areas of my home. If I don't want those smells to seep into my locks, I keep my hair covered. Okay, and if you want to prevent odors from your locks, my suggestion would be to stop using a lot of chemicals in the form of shampoos, in the form of waxes, creams, and gels. Stop using them. And when you wash your hair with peppermint oil soap, or a shampoo that has no chemicals, that is natural, it's residue free and doesn't promote buildup, if you're going to, or when you wash your locks. And if you do that, you will greatly reduce the risk of having odor in your locks. Okay, so I hope I was able to answer the question of why do I have an odor? Because I'm not working with your hair at this time. So I really don't know what your hair looks like and what it smells like. But if it's an odor and it's offensive, think about the things that I've just said. Eliminate what from that list of things I just gave you. Eliminate those things from your lock care and maintenance, and then see what happens. But you have to remember that a lot of things in our environment can produce odor, and you have to also remember that what you are eating and putting inside your body is going to come out, you know. And just like, you know, with our breath, if you are noticing that you're having some type of halitosis problem, maybe the problem comes from inside. Just like with your locks, perhaps the problem is coming from inside as well as outside. So that's something to think about. Okay. All right. Another question that I would like to present to you guys, a frequently asked question, is how often should you retwist your dreads or your locks? How often? Okay. So my suggestion is don't retwist your locks. Don't retwist them. Okay, that's my answer, because I am a free form or semi free form lock diva. But if retwisting is something that you are interested in and that works for you, I would suggest you only retwist your hair every 3 months. Now you may say every 3 months, every 90 days, really, Neil? Really? Because the thing is that you want to give your locks a chance to grow. You want to give your locks a chance to successfully grow. You want the new growth to become integrated or learn to grow and integrate within the established lock. All right, without being manipulated into doing so. You want your locks to begin to train themselves into locking, into becoming interwoven with the lock. And in order to do that, you have to space out the times that you get your hair, or that you go to your loctician to have maintenance done or retwisting. And another reason why I say 90 days between each retwisting, as far as how often you do so, is because you want to prevent breakage. Okay, if you retwist your locks too frequently, what's going to happen is you're going to notice something. You're going to notice that you're going to have space between each lock, which represents potential damage and breakage. What you're also going to notice is that your scalp is going to become dry. All right. And those are the things that we want to prevent. You know, I'm always talking about on this channel when it comes to locks, preventing breakage. Okay. Because I have done things to my locks that have caused my hair to just break and fall off. And that is something I do not want for you. So if you can go 3 months between retwisting, that is wonderful. That is perfect. Now, that does not mean that when you go and see your loctician and she retwists your hair and puts it into a style, that you should keep the style in place for 3 months. That's not what I'm talking about, because that is a surefire no-no. If you go to your loctician and you get your hair retwisted, and she puts it into a style, you should only keep that style up for a week. You need to take it down, because if you keep your hair twisted up and put into a style for a certain amount of time, over a week or so, what you're doing is you're promoting breakage in your locks. And that's not something that you want to do. Thinning and then breakage. No. That's not what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do is promote healthy locks. So every 3 months is good. Now, let's say you are in a professional role and you like to have your locks look a certain way, and 3 months is too long for you. You just don't want to do that. Then I would suggest every 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. So that's a month and a half, basically. So every 6 to 8 weeks would be the suggested time that most locticians will agree on that you should come in and get a retwist. But what we have to start learning is that retwisting is really hazardous to the health of your locks. Getting your hair retwisted every now and again is wonderful, but you should not count on that to for healthy locks. You should not count on that for beautiful and strong locks either. Okay, it has been years for me when it comes to a retwisting because I don't believe in it. You know, I used to retwist my hair all the time. And with retwisting came lots of thinning and breakage, child. Lots of thinning and breakage. So it's really all about you and how you feel about retwisting. But the suggested time period that I would give is every 3 months. And many locticians will give you that. Or they would say, you know, if you like, you're stickler for it, a good retwist, 6 to 8 weeks. So thank you so much for hanging out in the tiny studio with me. Thank you for rejoining me here for a conversation about dreadlock love. You know what time it is. Thank you so much for being a member of the Tiny Studio Lounge if you are a member. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to drop down in the comment section and we can talk about dreadlock love, and I will address your questions in another video here on this channel. So once again, hit that thumbs up button and I'll see you next time for another conversation about dreadlocks and all the things attached to it. See you later. Bye-bye.